this is not the answer. These last 2 weeks were the opportunity coming off the Titans game to show that he can be the guy against playoff contenders, and he has not lived up to it.
Firmly disagree with Jason last week. I'm like, you want him cut. Why do you want him cut? You want him cut because you're tired of seeing people say nasty things to you on the internet? Do you want him cut because it's hard to cover him? Do you want him cut because when you say you don't think he's a good quarterback, that he's got a big fan base and they go after you for it? I'll let you guys know, I'm part of neither of them. He's the quarterback for the Browns, and as of right now, he's the best option that they have. To me, it's not Deshaun, and it ain't.
So a lot of people want to see me fail, and it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen.
The Cleveland Browns media world just exploded. And standing right in the middle of the blast zone, rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. He's become the most divisive figure in Cleveland sports in recent memory, maybe ever. Ken Carman just unleashed an absolute firestorm on fellow Browns insider Jason Lloyd. We're not talking about a simple disagreement here. This is a direct, no-holds-barred public call-out that's ripping the lid off the complete chaos surrounding Cleveland's quarterback situation. Here's what's really happening in Cleveland right now. The Browns media is tearing itself apart over Shedeur Sanders. You've got insiders demanding his release. You've got fans forming rival camps, some defending him to the death, others wanting him gone yesterday. Advanced statistics are being thrown around like weapons on social media, and buried beneath all this noise is an actual NFL team trying to figure out its future at the most important position in football. Ken Carman didn't just push back on Jason Lloyd's take, he went on a 3-minute tear that essentially accused Lloyd of calling for Sanders to be cut for reasons that have nothing to do with football. And the stakes? They couldn't be higher. Because when media members start demanding a rookie quarterback be released before he's even finished his first season, you have to ask the hard question. Is this really about his performance, or is something else driving this? Carman asked it directly.
You want him cut. Why do you want him cut? You want him cut because you're tired of seeing people say nasty things to you on the internet? Do you want him cut because it's hard to cover him? Do you want him cut because when you say you don't think he's a good quarterback, that he's got a big fan base and they go after you for it? Is that why you want him cut?
That's not just a difference of opinion. That's a direct challenge. Carman is basically saying Lloyd's football analysis has been corrupted by online chaos and fan toxicity. He's suggesting the media coverage of Sanders isn't actually about what happens on the field. It's about how uncomfortable they are dealing with his passionate fan base. And that's a grenade thrown right into the middle of sports media. Let's break down what Carman called the cults. This is where things get really revealing about modern NFL fandom and how the media operates today. On one side, you've got the hardcore Shedeur believers. These fans ride or die with Sanders no matter what the numbers say, no matter what advanced analytics reveal, no matter how many picks he throws. They defend every decision, attack every critic, and create an environment where honest conversation becomes almost impossible. On the flip side, you've got what Carman calls the anti-Shedeur cult. These are people who've already written Sanders off as a failure before giving him a legitimate shot. They dissect every throw looking for flaws, blow up every mistake, and seem almost eager to prove he doesn't belong in the NFL. But here's where Carman draws the line. He's not part of either group.
If you guys want to call Shedeur fans a cult, go right on ahead. If you want to call anti-Shedeur fans some sort of a cult, fine. I just want to let you guys know.
This is the reasonable middle ground that's been completely abandoned in the Sanders discussion. The idea that you can assess a quarterback objectively without either treating him like a god or a guaranteed bust. The understanding that Browns first should matter more than personal feelings about any single player. And it's this middle ground that makes Carman's takedown of Lloyd so powerful. He's not defending Sanders because he's a fan. He's defending him because the football logic actually supports it. Now let's get to the real football side of this, because underneath all the media warfare and fan battles, there are legitimate questions about Shedeur Sanders' play and whether he has a future in Cleveland. Carman admits the advanced metrics don't look good. He acknowledges there are more red flags than green lights right now. The statistics are rough. Sanders ranks below even guys like Johnny Manziel and DTR in certain categories. That's not the company you want to keep. But here's the crucial difference Carman points out. Sanders has shown he can actually play NFL quarterback.
Like, Shedeur, to me, has demonstrated not only can he actually play the position, that's the first step. Some guys don't prove that. Johnny Manziel, DTR, I don't think they prove that.
This is a critical evaluation standard that gets completely lost in all the noise. Not every quarterback who puts up bad numbers early is destined to fail. Some players show enough core ability that they deserve more time to develop. Others never prove they can handle the NFL level at all. In Carman's view, Sanders is in the first group. Despite the ugly stats, despite the struggles, despite advanced metrics that look concerning, there's enough real talent there to keep building on, enough to justify giving him more reps, enough to make cutting him look like a knee-jerk reaction driven by outside pressure instead of sound football judgment. Which brings us back to the Jason Lloyd situation. Carman's main argument against Lloyd's stance is both straightforward and devastating. Wanting to cut a player should be about football performance, not about making your job easier as a media member. If Sanders was destroying the locker room, sure, move on. If he couldn't execute basic NFL throws, sure, cut him. If there was an obviously better option waiting in the wings, sure, make the switch. But none of those things appear to be true.
We'll find out that he's a terrible teammate. I don't think we will. But if you found out a guy was a terrible teammate and not that good, that's a reason to cut the guy.
The Browns don't have a better quarterback on the roster right now. Deshaun Watson clearly isn't the answer. Everyone in Cleveland understands that. Dylan Gabriel from the upcoming draft? That's far from guaranteed. Mac Jones, Malik Willis? These are the actual alternatives being floated, and none of them exactly inspire confidence. So if Sanders is the best quarterback the Browns currently have, if he's demonstrated enough ability to compete for the starting job, if he's not causing problems inside the building, then what's the football reason for releasing him? According to Carman, there isn't one, and that's what makes Lloyd's position so questionable. It suggests the push to cut Sanders isn't based on legitimate football evaluation. It's based on exhaustion with the media circus that follows him everywhere. This is where we need to confront something uncomfortable about sports media in 2025. The Shedeur Sanders situation is exposing an ugly truth about how online toxicity is warping football coverage. Sports journalists and insiders are human. When they share opinions about players, they face immediate and often vicious backlash on social media, death threats, personal insults, organized harassment campaigns from angry fan bases. For anyone covering Shedeur Sanders, this pressure is massive. His fan base, built through social media and his Hall of Fame father, is enormous and extremely active online. They don't just disagree with negative takes, they go to war over them. Carman acknowledged that reality with complete honesty.
Washington, no, you guys spend way too much time on the damn internet arguing with people who are probably bots or not even big Shedeur fans or just trolling.
But here's what matters. That toxicity cannot be allowed to influence football coverage. Journalists can't let Twitter attacks or Instagram hate affect their analysis. The job is to evaluate players honestly and accurately, not to avoid topics that generate nasty responses. And if that's what's happening with Lloyd, if the demand to cut Sanders is partially motivated by wanting to shut down the media circus that follows him, then that's a serious credibility problem for Browns coverage and sports journalism as a whole. Let's pull back and look at the bigger picture. The real question isn't just about Shedeur Sanders, it's about how the Browns are going to solve their franchise quarterback problem. Carman floated from interesting possibilities. What if they draft Dante Moore and start Sanders week 1? What if John Harbaugh takes over and wants Mac Jones? What if they somehow trade up for the #1 overall pick?
Ended up getting John Harbaugh, and John Harbaugh goes, he's got to go. I would like a plan after that of what he wants to do.
This is the balanced perspective that gets drowned out in the Sanders war. Being open to better options doesn't mean you have to hate Sanders. Keeping Sanders doesn't mean you think he's Patrick Mahomes. It's just smart roster management. The Browns are stuck in quarterback limbo. They don't have an elite answer. They don't have a clear path forward. What they have is a rookie who's shown flashes despite rough statistics and a media environment that's completely lost its mind. Making roster decisions based on anything other than football, whether that's calming down angry fans, silencing critics, or ending media headaches, is organizational malpractice. This might be the most important point in Carman's argument, and it's something every NFL fan base needs to understand, not just Cleveland.
Browns first, Guardians first, Cavs first. It should always be that way. He plays for the Browns, that's where it is with me.
This is how you fight back against cult mentality on both sides. You don't evaluate players based on whether you personally like them or whether their fans are annoying on Twitter. You evaluate them based on whether they can help your team win football games. Shedeur Sanders wears a Browns uniform until someone proves definitively he can't help this team win, or until a clearly superior option becomes available. The default position should be supporting his development, not because he's special, not because his dad is Deion Sanders, but because he's a Cleveland Brown, and Browns fans should want Browns players to succeed. That should be obvious, but in today's environment, where every opinion is designed for maximum engagement, where every take triggers tribal warfare, where nuance gets destroyed in the comment section, it's actually a revolutionary idea. The Browns are staring down a massive offseason. New head coach, questions about the front office, critical decisions at quarterback, and all of it is playing out under a media microscope that's completely compromised by internet toxicity. The Carman-Lloyd clash isn't just insider drama, it's a symptom of a much bigger problem in how we talk about and evaluate NFL players in the social media era. When coverage decisions get influenced by fear of backlash, when legitimate analysis gets buried under mob attacks, when journalists start calling for players to be cut partly just to end their own headaches, that's when we've completely lost our way. Shedeur Sanders deserves fair evaluation. That means acknowledging his struggles without labeling him a bust. It means recognizing his potential without crowning him a franchise savior. It means separating the player from the circus that follows him around.
Browns first, Guardians first, Cavs first. It should always be that way. He plays for the Browns, that's where it is with me.
And most importantly, it means Browns first. Always Browns first. Not media convenience, not fan appeasement, not Twitter engagement numbers. Just football. Just winning. Just finding the best path forward for a franchise that's been wandering in the darkness for way too long. Whether Shedeur Sanders is part of that path is still an open question, but that decision should be made in the film room, not in a comment section. And if Cleveland's media can't separate those two things, then maybe they're the ones who need to be evaluated, not the rookie quarterback.